Let's try everybody. Wonderful staff. Hey guys, welcome to this wonderful evening. So great to see so many people here tonight. Thank you. It's so lovely of everyone to turn out for Lish tonight. So that's beautiful. Classic poet style. We don't give a shit for tradition, so we're having a little celebration on the 49th Poestryspective because we can. I'd really like to take credit for all of this, but the reality is that this is actually Matt's doing. I really want to big shout out to Matt. It's pretty much all his idea. He's done most of the work, so good on you, Matt. I've only known Lish for a short while, so basically I'm going to leave it to the rest of you to embarrass her suitably through the evening. Those of you who've arranged events will know how much work she puts in for this event. It's really not an insignificant amount of work. Dealing with artistic people is always can be exciting, as we know. I don't really count myself in that. And this has also put a not insignificant amount of our own money into this, basically to provide a free event every 2 weeks for all of us to enjoy. I've been coming to this for about a year now and absolutely love it. Only miss it if I'm overseas or stuff like that. So this is a really great event, and I think the last two particularly, those of you who've been, have been absolutely fantastic. So it's really just getting better and better all the time. So a little bit before we start, open mic we're going to have tonight. Quite a lot of names up there already. I think we're going to need a bigger board at some point. But I think we're going to have to be pretty strict on the time limit. So you may know that it's actually a 5-minute time limit in Poestryspective. Not everybody tends to stick to it all the time, but we'll do our best to get through tonight, because I don't want to. Well, I wouldn't mind having my breakfast here, to be honest, but unfortunately I've got to go to work in the morning, so I can't really do that. Okay, so basically it's the usual sort of format for Poestryspective. You can read some of your own work, retrospective, one of Paul or Lish's. I think Lish's books are over the side there, and Paul's, so yeah, feel free to read some of those. We've got some great features for you tonight. We've got Waffle Irongirl. We've got Tim Evans as well later on. And Paul and Lish are going to kind of do a little bit of a feature speech as well. Okay, so yeah, if you're reading Lish's work, I guess I think I'd probably say don't be afraid to double down on something that someone else has already read. So it might be interesting to hear some different interpretations of the same work. So we'll see how we go with that. Okay, so just to make things easy, I'm not going to actually read any of Lish's work. I decided I'd ask Lish about a couple of her favourite poems, and she's basically identified a couple of me to read quickly. So I'll get through those, and then we'll get on to the open mic. So this first one is called Pretty Thing by Carrie Scuffins. She found a rare diamond residing in someone else's palace. The jewel bewitched her, it shone for her and sang to her. I am your gem heart's blood, sang, you found me. And after all of this, I can't glow without you. Just fade into furniture and suck on dust. Put me in your coat, take me off into night. We'll dance among the swords of moonlight. She found a hidden thing, a sign, a secret grown too big, cracked her open, and light shone in. And she dreamed of the stone, and woke to its absence. Dawns haunted and days contained in grey, without that pretty song. So when the gem appeared in her pocket, she closed her hand around it, and she ran, feet fleet-winged as Mercury's, knowing she was calling. Up and down every curse of voodoo and violation demands sacrifice. But the jewel pulsed in her palm, like the heart of a star, and the sun caught her eye, and she was blown away, far, far. And the other one's suitably brief as well. This is by Eric Beach. I'd like to multicultural your acquaintance. I want to be your bagel, baby. Eros and Vlacky too. How about a little spanakopita? I don't want croissant with a meat pie. I don't want a blue with you roux. I want a falafel. I'm Irish stew. I want a bolognese or borscht. Don't want to be a sauerkraut, mate. I want to be Palooka, not Magalaka. Have you seen gelati? You spaghetti where I live. How come I never zucchini you anymore? You the pip, me old cucumber, pie cart. How about a roll mop and a pork pie? Down a frog and toad. Where's me broad bean? How's your corn cob? Capsicum easy go. I dips me tzatziki. Bye-bye, bouillabaisse. Tarama salata for one Turkish delight. Paella, cannelloni. Needs sweetbreads. Must have S.O.U. Sense of humours. It's all waffle, entree, plenty more fettuccine. See you, lasagna. Don't come gnocchi at my door. I would have a pizza of you. Walking out on your marinara, out of sheer capricciosa. Don't calamari me. I'll give you a squealing. Okay, thank you. Michael Reynolds. Michael did a amazing feature at the last Poestryspective, so we'll see what he's got in store for us today. Okay, thanks, Michael.
Thanks. Cheers. I feel sorry for Lish sometimes because she's got a similar sense of humour to me, and that's a damn handicap to have. But time to get serious now though. A couple of years ago, I did a gig where I was given the freedom to read other people's poems, and I read my 10 favourite poems from the last 20 years of Melbourne poetry. And I said during that gig that Lish's book Breath is actually my favourite book of Melbourne poetry, and I would like to read my favourite poem from that book. It's still my favourite book, and it's called Europe.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been to Europe. I am told the buildings whisper their stories if you listen, and the sun feels different on your skin. I travel Australia. I have danced with my brothers and sisters by the night fires, hitched across a desert that kisses the skyline to townships people have forgotten. You see, they're all exploring Europe, the exotic places. I have run in the rain through stifling heat across beaches edged with grass, palm trees and water so clear you can see the coral on the ocean floor without diving in. I've been happily alone in the Blue Mountains, still not having seen Europe. Slept on many a forest floor, walked through the density of ferns, damp mosses and hundreds of 1,000-year-old trees barefoot, for nature is as fragile as it appears to be strong. I have played music on street corners, worked for peasants picking fruit, feasted on cheese and wine with a friend at the top of a mountain so high that the clouds were all around us. I have swum in creek beds and dived through waterfalls, washed in a wood fire, bath on 1,000 hectares of bushland, looking up to a sky coated with scars. Worked on organic farms for food and a bed, making many friends, some of them from Europe. Slept in teepees, under bridges, in the snow, the hollow of a dead tree providing shelter from the cold of that white beauty. In the morning, the sky was as blue in contrast to the ground's white. Half-frosted mountain ash looking like paper, ready to fold in on itself if a breeze picked up, and the black wallabies were like rocks hunched at the side of the track. I have explored caves full of dreamtime images, their intricate patterns, leaving an impression in your head that's always there. Not many whites are permitted. Now, I have a secret name. Still, I have not seen Europe. Just a short one of my own. This one is a tribute to Jas H. Duke. He's often regarded as the grandfather of performance poetry in Melbourne, and it's a permutation poem. Jas H. Duke, one of his poems was basically it's called sound poem. He repeated the words sound poem until basically the audience got sick of him. This is this is a permutation based on this. This is a sound poem. This poem is a sound. Is this a poem sound? Is this sound a poem? Is a poem this sound? This is a poem sound. A poem is this sound. This poem is sound A. This poem is a pound. Thoem is a piss sound. This is a pose mound. His son is a dumb poet. This, a poem, is no son. O Sodom, this is a pun. Poems sound a thisy. So this is a nut poem. Pooh me, this is the sun. I know as I doth mess up. A po is so is the dum. That is so undum, o is. Unpo ethos is mad. Sis a Sophy done poem. Heart pussy is dent moo. This a poem isn't so un.
Thanks, Michael. My head really hurts after that. Don't know which way's up and which way's down. Okay, next on the open mic, we've got IQ.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, it's nice to be back on the stage. And Lish and Matt, thank you guys so much for all you do. Given that Matt started the music with Son of a Preacher Man, taking the piss out of me, I'm going to read the poem that you missed the other week that you want to hear. And the others are for Lish and for everyone else who has common sense and wants to get rid of a political tumor in my country. Chilled air prayer. Blessed be the flagon, banishing winter's chill, bringing forth friendship. Blessed be the carved horn, sounding both battle and peace, calling loved ones home. Blessed be the brewer, alchemist of the harvest, conjurer of foam. All hail the raised sail, all hail our hewn valley home. All hail forever. Blessed be all fate. Blessed be all valor sung, all forever hail. I'm part Viking and Scott-Irish who said you don't write a prayer at a bar, drinking beer. After all, Jesus was a winemaker. First miracle. Okay. Speed along 5 minutes. That song playing, this is for all those who like to dance or drink wine. Just in time for an intake, Neil raps 70s instrumentals. When we felt shiny, like mint polyester. Bandstand maybes waiting, boogaloo sweating, warmed up for train. Just in time to hear butterfly collars fling open. Tomorrow is so sure to prosper. Never imagine robotic only car washes, minutes non-human, dances all faded from Saturday morn, just in time. Some Thursday morning, Rip City softened tear falls, late 70s composed diamonds, carrots with father's smile reflected, bitter 68 on pause. Red, red wine, stay close to me, don't let me be alone. Stay with Steve Smart. And because this is for Lish, Paul, Matt, everybody here, Michael and Lish were the first two conveners to offer me a gig in Australia, which is part of what got me here. So I've been here for over 11 years, and thank you, and I'm glad we can still laugh about the drunken poet, McKelvey, and Queen Latifah too. This is a small poem called Democracy, and I'm going to give a shout out to everyone who's ever been through a tragedy. He's a cool guy who wrote this poem, who got back to the US after giving all his proceeds from his tour in Australia to the bushfire victims in 2009, and then found out that he'd basically been economically raped by his manager. His name is Leonard Cohen. The poem is Democracy. There are many versions, but this is the full text, and I'll be off stage soon, very soon. It's coming through a hole in the air from those nights in Tiananmen Square. It's coming through the feel of that ain't exactly real, or it's real but it ain't exactly there. From the wars against disorder, from the sirens night and day, from the fires of the homeless, from the ashes of the gay, democracy is coming to the USA. It's coming through a crack in the wall, on a visionary flood of alcohol, from the staggering account of the Sermon on the Mount, which I don't pretend to understand at all. It's coming from the silence on the dock of the bay, from the brave, the bold, the battered heart of Chevrolet. Democracy is coming to the USA. It's coming from the sorrow on the street, the holy places where the races meet, from the homicidal bitching that goes down in every kitchen to determine who will serve and who will eat, from the wells of disappointment, from where the women kneel to pray for the grace of in the desert here, in the desert far away. Democracy is coming to the USA. Sail on, O mighty ship of state, to the shores of need, past the reefs of greed, through the squalls of hate. Sail on, sail on, sail on. It's coming to America first. The cradle of the best and the worst. It's here they got the range and the machinery for change. And it's here they got the spiritual thirst. It's here the family's broken, and it's here the lonely say that the heart has got to open in a fundamental way. Democracy is coming to the USA. It's coming from women and the men. No, baby, we'll be making love again. We'll be going down so deep the river's going to weep and the mountain's going to shout, Amen! It's coming like the tidal flood beneath the lunar sway, imperial, mysterious in amorous array. Democracy is coming to the USA. Sail on, sail on. I'm sentimental, if you know what I mean. I love the country, but I can't stand the scene. And I'm neither left or right. Getting lost. I'm just staying home tonight, getting lost in the hopeless little screen. But I'm stubborn as those garbage bags that time cannot decay. I'm junk, but I'm still holding up this little wild bouquet. Democracy is coming to the USA.
BTS, lovely work. God, his voice is just like treacle, isn't it? Okay, so next in the open section, we've got Lucy Best.
Like Vicky. I have to make the mic 2 feet lower, and also like Vicky, I'm quite nervous. So this is a poem I wrote, and I wrote it without a name, and then I just gave it a name the other day. So it's called Single Mum. Waiting, clawing, clinging, growing, groaning, roaring, raging, pushing, straining, screaming, moaning. Fetid flesh. That was how he described me after childbirth. Fetid flesh. Growing, grabbing, crying, snatching, whinging, whining. I didn't want this. No one wants this. But the pride and the love. Love, love, love. So, I reclaimed my fetid flesh, and I explored with it. She moaned and groaned. I sprained my tongue trying to get it right up there. She said she'd never felt like that before. He cared and caressed. He promised not to stop till I said when. I'd never felt like that before. I didn't realise how lonely I was in the relationship until I realised I was less lonely alone. Fighting, fleeing, roaming, released, single, soaring.
Thank you, Lucy. Beautiful. Now, Lucy was a bit too polite to plug her own show, but somebody just handed me the brochure, so I'm going to do it on her behalf. So, this is on the 21st of February. Hares and Hyenas. Queer comedy hosted by Lucy Best. Grab yourselves a brochure, a flyer. I think there's plenty out there, Lucy. All right, okay. So, next up, we're going to have our first featurette. Mr. Paul Skec is going to be performing for us, and I do have a little bio for him. Paul is a bipedal carbon-based life form who grew up in the unfashionable outer western fringes of Melbourne. Having grown up in the 1970s, he was always expecting an alien spaceship to crash land on the farmland across the road from him. He has alleviated the disappointment of this never happening by performing poetry since the early 90s and having various types of writing published. He's presently 0.3% of the way through reading the Iliad on Poetryspective every week, and if he manages to avoid further interruptions from Telemarketers, by the time he finishes, I think Footscray will probably look like Venice and we'll be on the ground floor. So, without further ado, Mr. Bush.
Hi everyone. I have a cunning plan to keep within time limits, and it involves Kosh telling me when to stop. Ooh. The second part of my cunning plan was getting my daughter to pick the set list, so this is going to be interesting. We'll see how much of it I can get through before the time runs out, or how much time is left. Okay, 74 and 75, here we go. Page numbers, not poem names. Although, it's a lot easier to get anyway. Skeleton closet. I recall strange dreams, climbing monstrously tall bookshelves in dark, misty, many-shadowed rooms, groaning with dusty tomes, weighty, bound leather iron, cloth-jewelled, slipping, crushed under avalanched snowdrifts, hieroglyphic notes, grimoires. For many years, inside my bedroom walk-in wardrobe, I kept an ancient-looking 5-tiered shelf, all the treasured books I'd hoarded. Religions, mythologies, tales of science, the unexpected, such are the skeletons in my closet. And conveniently, the next one she picked is on 75, the next page. Woohoo! And it's called State Space. I like this too. Beware, I possess many emotional states, know how to apply them to reality as some of us perceive it. Some may call them weapons, others defences. All depends where you're standing. Qualities of light, presence or absence of cloud cover. Slippery like waxen string. These states lurking in parts undisclosed, closed, depending on attitude. Some say altitude, location, temporal, spatial, the positions of the suns, persistence of daughter, how long damp laundry sits in the washing machine. Others emanate heatwave-like, invisible to all but cats. Others who should not be here named, tangible to the visible. Obvious to wise ones, first ones, these states emotional. All lost poets spew platitudes on past modifiers. Child, maiden, crone, royal and multitudinous exponential. And unexpected endings. And yes, Saved by the Bell, or Slaved by the Bell. I don't know. Anyway, Kendra's next pick was page 42. We introduced her to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So it's all 42 this and towel that and mice. Ooh.
Don't forget the towel.
Mice. And this is somewhat fitting, I guess. TV is dying again. His power arbitrator functions occasionally. Cathode ray is but a shadow of his former self.
Thank you very much.
This is his last gasp, one step from being a rather large and useless paperweight. He barely even plays videos anymore. Generally, the ones cathode ray likes are the ones without camera movement, so all our vids turn into weird jiggy lines, at least 42 seconds into any crucial scene, bouncing, puffing, swapping from full colour to mono on its own weird rhythm. One day he failed to light up, no matter how many times we hit his power button. We unceremoniously dumped him in the driveway, exposed to the elements, while several angles of our natures argued over how to dispose of him, when to set out to seek his replacement. Coda. Cathode ray disappeared from our driveway one night. Perhaps the aliens got him, perhaps he's moved on to the realm or planet or dimension of retired TVs. Maybe he's been liberated, resurrected by guerrilla TV repairers. This one. Yeah, I hate it so much I put it in the book. On page 88, Pelican Romeo and Juliet, and I do my bad Slavic accent now, is old, beautiful love story. Tragedy, Croatian song. Is wonderful story. Girl and boy, they fall in love. But parents, they not like this. Wanted to marry someone else from rich, powerful familia. The lovers, they don't like this. One jump off bridge, the other throw himself from cliff. Beautiful, sad story. Yeah, and of course, for the next one, Kendra deviated. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Went from listing page numbers to no page, and that's weird. There's always one where they don't give you the page number, and it's orbital decay, probably because it's the one about her and Tyrell. Dodging our satellites, they orbit the kitchen table. Dance around us like stars do in the cartoons just after heavy objects land on your head. Bounce around our house, the solar system, living galaxies of DNA following erratic paths, swayed by minute gravitational fluctuation, history, chance, genetics. Space junk, manifest made, consuming, all in their path. And to the timekeepers, I have 2 minutes, 33 seconds, 31, 2 minutes, 229, 226, 224, 2. Countdown, we have liftoff. Crow. She didn't specify whether she wanted it in English or Croatian, so I'll just do the English version. Or did she? No, she didn't. It's a crow day, an overcast, dreary, moist, aired, wet sock in boot kind of day. It's also a head caught in vice day, a honey sandwich in the bag day. It's a tingling nose, all clogged up throat day, a scritchy throat and crazy cough day. Croak like an ancient crow day. Must be show day. And I guess that will work in a town, any town that has like a royal show, or even just in, if I ever get international, other non-Commonwealth countries, non-royal countries, because there are other royalties aside from the one in that place. And Kendra liked the title of this one. They don't call it sacred geometry for nothing, kid, with 1 minute 13 seconds to go. They don't call it sacred geometry, kid, for nothing can spare you from a cascading array of satire. Everyone is a hippogriff. How do we know? We know. Transmission, we got to chill, dissolve this chip of light on our shoulders. Aliens. Aliens are out to get us. That's what the 50s taught me. They don't call it sacred geometry for nothing, kid. Oral clarity. What do you want? Oral clarity. What do you want? Arrange your answers. Oral clarity. Grand Army. What are your movements when the grasshopper swarms? Where is your facility to contain this moment, to train this eye ever closer to the dash? Dash, dash. They don't call it dash. The posters say the Reds are the worst kind of aliens. The posters say the refugees are the worst kind of aliens. The Green Nuns of the Revolution are too busy producing optimum creakage. Nothing sacred. The geometry of the moment. This chip, our shoulders, a light. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gosh.
Well, cool. How about that? The master of timing, said nobody ever. Okay, so next on the open mic, we've got Carla. I'll not endeavour to butcher your surname.
Yes, lots of people. I tell you I'm nervous. Thank you. Partly on book and partly off book here, and very different contexts. I've never done anything like this before, so thank you for your generosity. And thank you for putting on the event, Lish and my first time. Okay. You asked me, how are you feeling? How am I feeling? I am feeling. I am emotion. I'm all of those things. So to explain what I am would just take too long, okay? I'm sure you're going to be okay with all of it. Are you? Are you okay? I always hear rainbows, and I think you all know that I am feeling. I am emotion. All of it. All in me. So sometimes I need a little holiday. A pause. A break. Just a stop. A slowing down of expectation and production and happening and fulfilling duties.
these feelings bursting out from inside. I have all these emotions there. I can feel them all. I am them all. I could tell you, but you know, what it's really like, it's just too big to understand. So I will feel it all for you and try to broadcast it. Broadcast these feelings, these emotions, in so much as I can do this for you, because I am a radio, factory calibrated for leading power output and all frequencies. I am my own transmitter, no license required. All I need to turn me on is the power of love and beauty and trust and rock and roll! And my transistors pop! Do you know what I mean? Do you? I'm sorry, this transmission is being interrupted by radioactive microwaves, and you know, I really think we should probably unplug all of the appliances, and if you wouldn't mind just passing your phones up to the front, because it's interrupting with the frequency. Thank you.
Wow, how cool was that? First time? Yeah. Okay, next on the open mic, one of our other recent feature performers, Hamish.
I firstly want to thank Lish for all she's done for the poetry community over many years. Especially in the last couple of years with Poestryspective, I've had the pleasure of doing a retro feature here twice, Muriel Rukars and Philip Larkin, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it both times, and I've also thoroughly enjoyed seeing people like Reynolds get up and do Matthew Arnold. It's fantastic what goes on here. I'm going to start with a quote by the Portuguese poet Fernando Pessoa, who said, all I need to tell my biographer is the date of my birth and the date of my death, because all the rest of the days are mine. Yeah. I'm going to do a little number, a song, and this is for Lish. It's called Think About Your Troubles by the late great Harry Nilsson. It was also a psychedelic animated movie in the late 60s. The Point. Welcome to the land of Point. Sit beside the breakfast table, think about your troubles, pour yourself a cup of tea, think about the bubbles. You can take a teacup and take it down to the riverside and throw it over the east side to be swept up by the currents, eaten by some fishes, eaten by some fishes, eaten by some fishes and swallowed by a whale who grew so old he decomposed. Now everybody knows that when a body decomposes, it all ends up coming to the basic elements, and the sea does what it oughta, and soon there's salty water which will come out of your faucet straight into your teacup. Now, think about your troubles. Think about the bubbles. La, 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 la. Think about your troubles. Thank you. Now, as there is only one letter's difference between poetry and poverty, and I'm somewhere stuck on that letter V. I don't have much money myself, but I do want to donate to the pot for people who are interested. Barus, who is holding a warehouse multicultural event on Saturday, March the 7th, starting at 12:30 and going through till 10 o'clock at night, with a great lineup of music. I'm donating 4 tickets at $35 each to go, if people want to buy them, to go into the funds for the night. So they're there. If somebody wants to get tickets, that's what they're there for. And I'll leave you with a quote by another poet, Robert Graves. There's no money in poetry, but there's no poetry in money either. Thank you.
Thank you, Hamish. I don't think I've ever heard you singing before. Very good. All right. Okay, it's a little bit of profound profundity there. Okay, so next on the open mic, we've got Emilie Collyer.
Hey everyone, I'm going to do one of Paul's and one of Lish's as my poems tonight. Oh, this one I love so much. It's like a little jewel, so I'm going to read it slow so you hear every amazing word. This is Paul's. It's called Universe in Orchestra Incarnation. Is poetry all around us? Neither one thing, nor all that is. Who can say? Weird light of autumn evenings, pungent with aromas evocative. Perception of singularity. Dusk ringed by a nexus of bare branches. Lying on ground, gazing up at dome's vastness. Blues step deeper, higher, dense to a tiny point of black. Bird in sky, or piece of night, who can say? And yeah, I had to read, I'm sort of glad no one else has read this one yet. I had to read it. I'll try and get through it without getting too emotional. It's Lish's poem called Woman. You often worked all night, big machine, rumbling carnivore, spitting out yards of material and thread. Still you were called lazy, stupid, useless. It was your money kept us clothed, fed, housed. No addictions in your soul except painting and music. You no longer had time to enjoy. The woman who educated me with every word, politics, poetry, sex, religion. Each day you had a story, standing up to the giant hand, swooping glasses from your face, breaking the vow to love and honour, the brunt of a man's frustration. Life was children, work, and the hope for change. The universe made a woman of leather whose skin would not break, soul never beaten down, that was you, saving us children when life was full of fear. The woman who left the dominating man for clear waters, found herself terminal and still fought, even in death. You had dignity etched into the lines of a fresh face. Never had I seen you more at peace, or felt a deeper love, bright star of my world, Mum.
Thank you, Emilie. I think you certainly did those justice. Beautiful. Okay, so we do have a couple of late additions to the first half before we get on to Waffle Irongirl, and the first one is Sofia.
In my boudoir, a moth lies trapped like an old flame. I'll release you under these conditions. Let me fly instead of you, flit moonlit on powdered wings. Let me eat my clothes instead of you, and no, it's not that I don't fit into them. You doubt my ability to defy gravity, yet I don't feel fat in this cellulite with your presence. You Blanche Dubois in my boudoir. Let me eat my words instead of you.
Thank you, Emilie. I think you certainly did those justice. Beautiful. Okay, so we do have a couple of late additions to the first half before we get on to Waffle Irongirl, and the first one is Sofia. we've got beautifully done. It's always nice to see someone reading about beauty. Okay, so we have one more performer before we get on to the feature. So those of you who've seen Sasha before, I suggest you strap yourselves in because we're probably in for a bit of fun and excitement. Rock and roll, let's go.
Ziga Vertov, Kinox Revolutions Selections, from the Manifesto of the Beginning of 1922. You, cinematographers, directors without occupation and artists without occupation, flustered cameramen and scenario writers scattered the world over. You, the patient public of the movie houses with the tolerance of mules beneath the load of served emotions. You, the impatient owners of the not yet bankrupt movie theatres, greedily snapping up the scraps of the German table and to a lesser extent the American table. You, wait! Debilitated by memories, you daydream and pine for the moon of the new 6-reel feature. Nervous persons are asked not to close their eyes. You wait for what will not happen and what you should not expect. My friendly warning, don't bury your heads like ostriches. Raise your eyes, look around. There. Seen by me and by every child's eye, insides falling out, intestines of experience, out of the belly of cinematography, slashed by the reef of revolution. There they drag, leaving a bloody trace on the ground, shuddering from terror and repulsion. All is ended. I am builder. I implanted you a most remarkable chamber which did not exist until I created it today. In this chamber there are 12 walls, photographed by me in various parts of the world. Manipulating shots of walls in detail, I have succeeded in arranging them in an order which pleases you and in constructing correctly a cinematic phrase, which is the room. Electric young men, I am the I. I am the I have created a man more perfect than Adam. I create thousands of different people in accordance with previously prepared plans and charts. I am I. I take the most agile hands of one, the fastest and most graceful legs of another. From a third person I take the handsomest and most expressive head. And by editing I create an entirely new man. I am I. I am a mechanical I. I am machine. And showing you a word the likes of which only I can see, I free myself from today and forever from human immobility. I am in constant movement. I approach and draw away from objects. I crawl beneath them. I move alongside the mouth of a running horse. I cut into a crowd at full speed. I run in front of running soldiers. I turn on my back. I rise with an airplane. I fall and soar together with falling and rising bodies. Thus, I decipher in a new way the world unknown to you. There it is, citizens. In the first place, instead of music, painting, theatre, cinematography, and other castrated outpourings, I am I. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. Never done. Okay, so now it's time for our first full feature. Most of you are going to be familiar with Waffle Irongirl. It is a tradition of Lish's to read a work from the retrospective feature, so I shall. So this is I Don't Need You to Be Good. I don't need you to be good or worthy. I don't need your art to be beautiful, to be meaningful, to spark revolution anywhere, but in your heart. In the shape of your lips, the shine of your face, and you tell me about it over biscuits and tea. I don't need your music to lift and soar, to soothe anything, but your desire to sing. My soul is already savage beyond redemption. Needs nothing more from you than the tremble of your fingers over the keys, over the frets, drumstick in your hand, and the full beam of your smile, or the full ferocity of your grimace. I don't need for you to do good. I mean, perform your charity by all means, but I don't need your good works to feel your goodness. gently warm the air around me, to feel your worth, embrace me as I walk. You are good to me when I think of your off-key smile. I don't need you to be sexy or beautiful, light any sort of fire or flame, be the siren you desire, or be a frump. It doesn't change the shape of your fingers in my hand, or the snap of ginger nuts between your teeth. And how I remember this, and a lovely brick is added to my house. This moment, you are you. No need to be truthful. Your eyes tell me the truth, even as you embellish. I appreciate the stories, and I love even the facade you gift to me. It's glitter and lashes. I know who you are underneath, as I know myself, to be imperfect, and want too much to be loved, to ever be true. This too is all I need of you. Just be you. I will be me. Just be you. I can be me. Allow me to know the gentle rocking, the occasional dull and comforting banter, the curve in a smile, the strength of your arm, a ginger nut biscuit, an honest frown, tears falling or a diaphragm cry. I will be me, you just be you, whoever you are in this moment. You just be you. Okay, so I've got a bio for Waffle Irongirl as well. Waffle Irongirl regularly sets out to write poetry in the venerable tradition of Blake and Whitman. But she keeps getting waylaid by strong opinions, her personal cultural context, and a genuine fondness for the music of cold chisel. The fact she can't resist the occasional slang just makes things worse. On stage, she's the poetical analogue of a heavy metal karaoke. Off stage, she's vague and freshly introverted. So really, it isn't you, it's me. Tonight, she's going to be reading a selection of that, I understand. So I'll let her introduce herself. Okay, Waffle Irongirl.
Thank you for that reading, Colin. So the first time I met Lish, or the first time I spoke to her, was at a gig. And she walked right up to me, and without so much as a hello, she said, I once pushed a cart full of dolls through the desert. And I exchanged the dolls for rides. I think that's what she said. I should have known that was an omen. Very first thing she ever said to me. I think it's very much like Lish, the people that are here tonight, from all the parts of the spoken word community. She has a habit of like really attracting very interesting weirdos to her. None of you, I'm talking about myself, not really. Sorry, not sorry. The nicest, most interesting, and most loyal people, and that's just who Lish is. I'm not going to say very much more because I think Lish understands more than most that the fact that I am here means more than anything I can say. I'd like to read one by Lish in The Wonderful Breath, and Michael Reynolds is one of the most amazing purveyors of poetry, so if he says this is one of his favorites, you really ought to buy it. I think there's a stack over there. Yeah? Yeah. Nice.
And it's autographed.
Cool. Okay. Buy an autographed copy of Breath and Paul's book as well. This is called Tumbling Fish by Lish Skec for Paul Skec. I sink into you, lost wave, found a bed in ocean. We are tumbling fish, together on a hook, strung rib to rib. A light tug, you're there in my eye. It is not necessary to touch. You love me without words. Scan my heart with your center, dense, pliant, ocean of eyes, rivers of soul. Probably the only love poem I've ever read on stage. It's lovely. Yeah, there's a piece in here you wouldn't say that about, I'm pretty sure. This is where we keep the Barbies. I wrote it after In the Palace of Broken Men by David Stavanger. This is where we live. This is where we keep the Barbies still in their boxes, corners peeling. We play Lego here, blocks stacked each day, dismantled every night. Every piece has its place. We build houses with symmetrical roofs. No time for trees or dinosaurs. Build a neat home for the dolly mummy, daddy, and tiny baby with its bottle. This is where we keep the skipping rope, the rubber ball and bat. Outside toys we never take outside. This is where friends sit, the sofa wrapped in plastic, wiped down every time a friendly intruder leaves. We sit at the edge of things and hope they don't ask to use the bathroom. Dream of houses with asymmetrical roofs, where our Barbies can sprawl on Lego couches akimbo. So I don't know if you're excited about...
Lish, of course.
Yes, I'm very excited about Lish. We're all excited. Who's excited about Lish?
Yeah, you know, it's true.
I'm scared to ask. Do I want to know? Oh, okay. I thought you said what excites me more. I'm also excited for Tim Evans' feature later. He's and he very, very kindly allowed me to perform this one. Dear Santa, I know you're busy making plans for your annual delivery, but I don't think you read my last letter clearly. I don't mean to be ungrateful really, but I must suggest I was treated unfairly. I was good all year, except for that thing in February. While we're here, I find your system arbitrary, naughty and nice, the whole thing such a subjective quality. It's clear the whole thing is far too binary. So this year, with brevity and clarity, there's one thing I need you to bring for me. All I want for Christmas this year is a frontal lobotomy. Last year I got socks and clinical anxiety. Santa won't send you a surgeon down the chimney to cut out self-doubt with a scalpel wielded skillfully. Shear me off the fear. I'll do without a personality, true. Dribbling at the dinner table, gladly catatonically, content to be a vegetable and eat my turkey silently. Queued for hours outside the door of the most expensive department store, not Myers probably, because that's where you find the real Santa Claus, not at Bunnings. I've been caught out before. Parents behind me set their jaws apoplectic. I'd be first on the floor, asked, are you waiting for a child of 4? I looked back and smiled so broad. No, it's just me that I'm here for. Nothing else that I want more than someone to slice up my cortex core. I jumped up on St. Nick's knee. He said, how old are you, son? I said, I'm 33. I resent the ageism implied in your inquiry. I wish a bone to pick, so just listen to me. I have no reply to my letters sent recently, so now I'm here to petition you personally about my request for festive brain surgery. The kids behind me in the line are getting weepy. Parents mumbled and grumbled, increasingly angry. I shouted, I'm here to safeguard my sanity.
Yeah.
And was forcibly removed by elvish security. I wrote, Dear Santa, please accept my apology. I've changed my mind on the frontal lobotomy. Don't want to change my brain that drastically. A hole in the brain, that just won't do for me. I need my whole brain for this whimsical poetry. You, the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy, secularized folk figures all lack reliability. I found some other gifts from friends and family. Sensitive inquiry and empathy and faith in me all help give me a little more agency. My Christmas present is partial recovery. And hopefully, if it's not being too greedy, the first Star Wars trilogy on DVD. I also love that because I never rhyme and he does. A tiny girl, me. First time at the movies, against a background of starburst text crawling into the infinite. My first poetry heralds a lifetime of wonder. Luke kisses Leia, Solo swaggers, and Chewbacca, arr! And I fall headlong into hormonal hurricane. I mean, are you a Luke kind of girl? Or a Solo kind of girl? Or maybe a Leia kind of girl? Big girl. A big girl, me. Again at the movies. I'm there for the later early sequels, or is it the earlier late prequels? Rebel, Renegade, Rose Tico cannonballs the scene in her mustard jumpsuit, rounded cheeks hardened in determination. I'd seen a dozen trailers. I should know what to expect, and yet tears astound my cheeks. Surreptitiously swept away. I mean, who cries at a space opera, right? Into this wondrous galaxy, shadow anthem of my youth, the house my psyche grew up in, heart burst into starlight the first time I see a girl who looks like me. I exist! I am real! Can't you see? Now,
This is a public piece of art. It's a beautiful piece of art. Everyone should see it.
So we're going to just crack on with the open mic section for a little while before we bring Lish up for a little featurette. So first on the open mic in the second half is Baz, and he's not singing.
Oh yeah!
You've got a bit of
Oh
spoken
man,
word.
bring them on, baby.
I thought I'd go into the new age, modern, take over bullshit things. This is a poem I wrote many years ago, 1998 to be precise. And I was doing the sound at the Dam back when they had the band PA in. Before Michael was doing it, I was doing it. And we had this rather awkward feature. The next week I came back and read this. The poet hacks another cough, waits for silence to abound. He knows he's the feature poet, the best this week around. He does a poem about death and life, about Smith and Gertrude Street, and another about a long lost lust he'll probably never meet. The poet looks into the crowd, scratches his head and has a think. They're discussing sex and politics and how much Guinness they can drink. At least I'm being paid for this. They seem to listen to this crap. Might help me flog a book or two, put me on the poet's map. He looks again and poems louder. Not one ever lost for words. Thinks, I'll get your attention, inconsiderate bloody turds. Shut your festering gobs, you bastards! I'm trying to do my read. If you can't give me space and quiet, I'll get all sensitive and bleed. Fuck. Shut your fucking mouths, you pricks. I'm trying to flog my tone. Alright, okay, I've had enough. Stamp my feet and piss off home. If you can't stand the poet's heat, I hear Rob Conlon shout, then don't enter the poet's kitchen. Okay, enough. He's out. And this is something I wrote a few years ago. I got a feature at Westward in 2013, and it's a bit of a spoken. It's better. Why didn't I do that in the first place? And it goes a bit like this. I've got to try and keep the local kids out of my shed. It's a long, sad story, which I've edited down to a short, sad story. When they were decommissioning Mont Park Psychiatric Hospital in Bundoora in the early 90s, I managed to score several pieces of equipment which I planned to store for a few decades and then start up a company called Retro Psych, which uses 40s, 50s and 60s psych technology for modern psych use. They even threw in about 10 kilograms of bright pink pills with the word zombie written in black texture on the bags. I haven't tried them myself, but the pet cat seems to like them. He scoffs one, goes to sleep for 2 days, wakes up expecting to be fed, which I then oblige, then he goes back to sleep. One zombie pill lasts him about a week. He seems to be putting on heaps of weight by this indulgence, but if I try and deprive him of his pill, he goes feral until I hand him one. Well, back to the kids in the shed. The little buggers have been getting their jollies by watching each other jump around while they give each other electroconvulsive therapy. The little shits have even learned that restraint is necessary as one of them bounced off the table and onto the floor with the first jolt to the temple for a few weeks ago. Bloody pathetic little wimp. Well, if that isn't bad enough, they've discovered my collection of lobotomatics, which they are now having loads of fun separating each other's left and right frontal lobes. I collared one of them the other day, a fat little kid, and asked him why he was doing this. He told me that he just wanted to be like Mum and Dad, and the only things he needed were PlayStation 3 and the buttons on the TV remote. Oh, and how to scream at Mum when the McDonald's runs out. I don't know what's wrong with the kids of today, but anything has to be better than innocently comparing gonads behind the shelter shed at school. Thank you.
Great, yeah, I was just going to mention that, Baz, yeah. Great stuff, Baz, yeah, very entertaining. Yeah, while Baz is the flavour of the moment, he has kindly provided a best award for the performances this evening, as to be judged by yourself. Some rather violent looking carnivorous plants. I'm told they won't get bigger than 6 feet and will only eat small children, so you should be just fine as long as your children are maybe 5 or 6 years old. Okay, so next on the open mic, we've got a bit of local talent. Don Rogers. Come on, Don.
Dominate, baby. Keep laughing.
My name's Don Rogers. Haven't written a poem in a while. Been more into creating music recently. So I'm going to read a set of lyrics I wrote. But before that, I just recently went to the USA for the first time and went to San Francisco and went so the Beat Poets were a massive inspiration on me growing up in terms of the free-form way that they used to write, and I got really inspired by that. So I bought A Coney Island of the Mind by Lawrence Fellingett.
Yeah!
Oh, alive, apparently. It's fucking crazy. They've all, the rest of them been dead for like 30 years, but what a hero. Anyway, so I'm just going to read the first poem in Coney Island State of Mind, and then I'll read one more. Alright.
Just turned 100.
In Goya's greatest scenes, we seem to see the people of the world. Exactly at the moment when they first attain the title of suffering humanity. They write upon the page in veritable rage of adversity, heaped up, groaning, with babies and bayonets under cement skies in an abstract landscape of blasted trees. Bent statues, bats, wings and beaks, slippery gibbets, cadavers and carnivorous cocks, and all the final hollering monsters of the imagination of disaster. They are so bloody real, it is as if they really still existed, and they do. Only the landscape has changed. They still arranged along the roads plagued by legionnaires, false windmills and demented roosters. We are the same people, only further from home, on freeways 50 lanes wide, on a concrete continent, spaced with bland billboards, illustrating imbecile illusions of happiness. The scene shows fewer tuberals, but more strung out citizens in painted cars, and they have strange license plates and engines that devour America. I was going to read a published poem of mine from 10 years ago, but instead I'm going to read lyrics to a song I just wrote, and I'm going to be playing here on the 13th of March.
Yeah, keep it real, baby.
With a full band.
What's the name of the band? Sexy as the Sexy Does?
Well, it's Don Rogers and the Scray City Rollers. It's true, it's true. It's on Facebook, it's on Instagram, check it out. I've only got really shitty lo-fi phone recordings, but like, don't worry, I plan on recording some proper material this year. Anyway, so this song is, alright, it's an ode to Nick Kyrgios.
Oh, yeah!
You know, I'm a big fan of Nick Kyrgios. I think he's fucking good for tennis and the world in general. Those fucking professional, uber professional vlogs, he just rips it up. What can I say? Yeah. Alright. There are chords to this, it's actually a song. But anyway, we'll get to that on the 30th of March if you come down. I'm plugging myself here, right? Time's probably running out. Yeah, the evening. I'm supporting a bunch of other guys. Miles recommends it in the bill, they're amazing. Anyway, the Nick Kyrgios song, Capo on the first fret. It's easy to sit there on your couch, launching passing shots at superstars about how you believe they should behave. It ain't hard to gesticulate from your suburban throne out in Nowhere Street in Nothingville, where there are no heavy hitters to reset your game. Your flat screen friends tell you what to think, who to serve and who to save, and who deserves your poison and your praise. What if I were to suggest to you, turn down the sound on that silver tube and listen hard to the slander you've been spraying? This is the pre-chorus now. Because in this world of wild swings and social media backspin, every Joe Blow's a courtside king. Umpires in slip-on shoes from Macedon to Narnagoon, a diaspora of lazy lackeys from womb to tomb. It ain't hard to claim you're qualified in slicing through the blazing mind of a raw bare-all young man not yet 25. But it's not so easy to open up the blinds and peek inside your own armchair life. It is said that those who are critical don't like to be criticised.
Come on.
Well, yeah, well, that's a fucking can of worms. Is it that you're petrified of truth unleashed to white-bread media goons who play snakes and ladders with people's lives for dimes? And what if I were to say to you, lay off my mate in the orange shoes because it's Mad Margaret Court claiming she's on the end of God's hotline? Because in this world of groupthink and baseline barking keyboard gimps, every Jane Doe is trying to land a lightning ace. In this world of robot mould and knee-jerk volleys from souls long sold, you'll get cut down and called a mental case. Then there's like a solo bit, and then I channel Rage Against the Machine. And when I do this, I'm gonna get a local rapper to try and do this. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, bro. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, bro. Fuck Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, bro. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, bro. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, bro. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, bro. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And then the last verse is, it's easy to sit there in your soft, safe space, flicking underarm serves at a public face about how you believe they should behave. Sometimes it's hard to leave the chorus and sing your own tune. Maybe Nick Kyrgios as... Oh, there's a fucking... Maybe Nick Kyrgios could teach you a thing or two. Have a few drink.
Yeah, I was not expecting to get a pun about Nick Kyrgios tonight. That's a bit off the... 40 love time, juice. Yeah, code follow. Okay, yeah. So just also announcement. So Don's going to be featuring at Poestryspective later in the year. Date TBC. Keep your eyes out on the Poestryspective website, Facebook, and all of your other social medias. Okay, so we're going to have one more open mic, and then we're going to have our next little featurette. So next on the open mic is Rowan White.
Yeah! He's a brick to the house. He's mighty, mighty. He's a brick. Thank you.
Every testimonial should have a burial service. And so it was tonight. I was just chatting to Lish before about her Ugg boots. How many repairs did they get before they died?
13.
13, thank you. I got these thongs at Clark's in 1982. I guess I hope they last a year or 3 buying them brand new. But how was I to know? I tell you no word of a lie. This pair, they would become the thongs that would not die. I wore them to the cricket. I wore them to the beach. I wore them to the swimming pool when they were new and kind of neat. I loved them. They were comfortable, practical, and cheap. So if one busted, never mind, I wasn't in too deep. I wore them down the shops. I wore them everywhere. Mum said they dressed me down a bit. I didn't seem to care. I wore them into interviews.
Lifeguard, right?
Yeah, loss, that's the term. I wore them to a formal. My date, she seemed to squirm. I wore them to a new job. The boss turned up her nose. Oh, H&S, she said, and so I taped some steel caps to my toes. Then I entered thong athletics. I ran the 1500. I ran the 8, the 4 as well, and in the sprints I thundered. Through all this, my thongs endured, not one broken strap. Who would have thought they'd go so well? Flip, flop, flap, slap. They wore and wore and wore for miles and miles and miles. I loved them. They were durable. The very best of styles. Now, decades passed since Clark's. No Docs or Crocs I'd wear, because back then I wisely bought I got it wrong. Any rhymers in the audience, notice that? Now, decades passed since Clark's. No Docs or Crocs I'd buy. Because back then I wisely bought the thongs that would not die. These days The layers all show through. They're wearing pretty thin. There's actually a sign of light through there. Soon, in fact, today, tonight, and thank you to Charlotte, I'll have them buried deep inside the wheelie bin. And now I do. I look up to that thong god in the sky and wishes like boots and cry and say, well, thank you for the thongs that would not die. Thank you.